It's called Redwood Tree. Courage didn't come naturally to me. I had to learn it when I traveled for my company, speaking to promote American Indian culture. In each room, afraid I won't persuade. No one would care. On my way to a sales meeting to sign up volunteers for community service to our Native peoples groups, I passed an ancient redwood, illuminated by sunrise, and found myself downstream in a daydream. My soul, like the forever green redwood that caught my eye, silent and stately in its natural setting, sunshine on wide spreading branches, drawing nourishment from earth, unconcerned about proving its existence or worth to anyone. The tree knew its value, knew it was beautiful. At the meeting, I stood tall as Sequoia sempervirens, and my words filled the room like morning sun. So I know you guys all know you can draw spiritual power from trees, right? That's what that's about. Okay. I knew you guys would know that. Well water makes good pie crust. The well. I smelled a pie baking in the oven. Oh man, I was stuck inside of memories, wanting to see Grandma again in her apron at the kitchen sink, washing white flour dust off her hands under the tap, cold well water tasting of iron and minerals, the pure water of the old ones that must be protected. 2, the apple. Next time we meet, I'll bring questions. I want to eat the apple of history. What happened to the sacred tree, Grandma? The one that was uprooted, where was it taken? She gonna laugh, shake her head. Honey, I don't know, don't remember. So I'll try again, though her objections cut like a sword in the hands of a paradise angel. With that blade I could peel the forbidden apple. Will she let down her guard long enough I can grab that apple peeler? Can an elder be tricked into telling old stories of the hallowed tree from the wee gwas birch bark scrolls? Grandma was born in a time foretold in the 7 fires prophecy, the era of the 6th fire, when elder mothers lost the respect of rebellious daughters like my grandma. 3, the garden. The legend of great-grandma's herb garden passed into forgetfulness. I must see her story retold, shared. I come back to you, Marie Oga de Basagi, renowned midwife, preserver of herbal knowledge. Can we revive good medicine now the children of the 7th fire have come? 4, the oil patch. Disregarding sacred earth and its needs, oil barons only see profits in Alberta's tar sands. They strip the forests, divert rivers, and drain wetlands to reach the oil. Ponds of toxic waste leak into the Ogallala aquifer. Failing regulations are leaky too. We fight against oversights, but no delay comes our way. The extraction plan expands like cancer that spreads and grows among the Athabascan people. Elk and caribou herds die out. The pure well water and Grandma's pies lose their natural sweetness. It's the last shake of the dinosaur's tail before we take the Gasosaurus down. So this is a Mount Diablo poem. I call it a working man's poem. Only these guys aren't getting paid, they're volunteering. But it's called Volunteer Workday on the Mountain. Diablo is a peak, maybe you guys, actually you guys know, but It sits right at the bay. It's about 3,800 and some feet high. From the top of it, you can see, as far as you can see from Kilimanjaro, it's quite a view from Mount Diablo. So if you're ever up there, please go up and see it. Volunteer workday on the mountain. My car is the first to arrive in the parking lot. Rest of the volunteers will be here soon. Jeff and I don't feel like waiting. We haul our chainsaws and tools up a switchback trail to Twin Peaks. No one's walked the mountain yet. We break the spiders' silk barriers strung across the path at night, brushing webs from our eyelids. Finches from a safe perch in scrub oak and coyote bush call to the neighbors. First human of the day coming through. Sunlight sneaks over the range of hills, Diablo, Olympia, North Peak, arrayed on the opposite side from us on Eagle Peak Trail. We scramble up the rocky horns in time to see sunrise arrive, stir wind into motion, signal the start of a race over land from the east, as if a sun chariot really was starting its course, its run across heaven. Hail, Phoebus Apollo! Calling Cleo from a nearby coulter pine, lone flicker we couldn't see till it darted out, catches a ride on the new risen breeze, swoop, dip, flies like it's rowing, sculling the air. Gentle breeze becomes strong, cold wind that blows across the top of the world, mighty weather engines of the planet doing their work as we hurl along in Earth's orbit. Rain predicted this evening. We have to finish clearing the trail today. I pull the cord on the saw. Its violent roar shatters the serenity of morning. By the way, for you pine biologists, Mount Diablo is the farthest northern point where coulter pines exist. And they're huge cones, or also called big cone pine. Don't stand under one too long. Waiting on spring. A quiet afternoon between storms. In the ebb of time, we discuss the pruning of walnut trees. Do you remember where you saw it? He asked. So I led the park botanist down the hill to Mitchell Canyon, through a grove of Northern California natives, black bark contrast to gray limbs grafted onto rough-ridged trunks of walnut by a farmer whose land became state park. We searched for the English walnut I found, distinguished by uniform gray trunk. Juglans regia means a nut in the king's palace, something like that, he said. It's really a Persian species, not English. Panic at the quail crossing, fleeing brood of chicks, clucking pit-pit, whir of wings. We violated their path, but found my tree. Cold patch, change in the still air, breath of chill breeze, lift of hawk wing, gray clouds drift in, covering Diablo's peak. Thank you. Here's my daughter and I driving to school. River of Delight. One early morning we saw a coyote in the dry wash, hunting in Pine Creek as my daughter and I drove to school. Her eyes lit up to see a wild animal in the middle of town by this last remnant of rustic road, the day which threatened the prospect of another dull task of sitting in a classroom suddenly brightened. To discover the river of delight in a child's eyes, to watch as joy came barefoot, to splash in the waters of innocence on its journey to ocean beyond. Oh, yeah. 2. Oops. Where'd my, I lost my hammer. Okay. I thought so.
You had it in your hand.
Put it on the yes, thank you. I hope you guys will sing along with me, actually, because this is pretty simple. A lot of Indian songs use what are called vocables. They don't use the Indian language. So it goes like this. Way hey ya, 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 way hey ya. Try it. Way hey ya, way hey ya, way hey ya, way hey ya, way hey ya. One more. Way hey ya. There was a place that I saw in a dream where the clear water flowed and I drank from a stream. It was a sacred mountainside. I saw the sun and the moon turn again, saw the pure water rivers restored, and our place in the sacred hoop regained. I dreamed it one night, I woke in the half light of dawn. My hopes they took flight from a heart full of spite. When could this dream be so wrong? From way up high in the sky came an eagle's cry as it dared to defy the wicked wind that swept across the earth. I shouted back my praise. I remembered days when Earth Mother's ways were revered, was a time before my birth. I dreamed it one night. I woke in the half light of dawn. My hopes they took flight from a heart full of spite when I heard the eagle's song. Hey, won't you meet me there on the ground of the medicine wheel? Leave our wars and our weapons outside the door, a way to peace, to brotherly love in this place on the earth we share. We breathe the same sweet air. We can restore the earth, bend the flowering tree. We can restore the earth, restore the flowering tree. We can restore the earth and the flowering tree. Way ah, way ah, way ah, way ah, way ah, way ah. Thank you.
You got one more?
I do.
Do it.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Now this was really bad because I'm in this anthology, this beautiful anthology that Lucy published, Lucy and Luke, and I didn't read my poem. That's really bad. I had it on the list. Okay. You know, I lived in Northern California for a really long time. I got to know the Pomo people pretty well, and I visited many of their sites and villages and the people that I knew. Even though I'm an Ojibwe from Northern Ontario, I was able to connect with these guys. So I wrote a poem for the Pomo. Murder in the modern West. Pomo gambler hits the card rooms, meth labs, and bar brawls feed the heartbreak playing on the jukebox. Songs should be sung about God's country stolen, the inhabitants exiled, instead of divorcees in go-go boots, cowboy ramblers, one-night stands. The fight for Indian land rights doomed. A dam got built. It drowned a secret place where willow plants and sedgeroot grew, the harvest used for feather baskets. Kahawani, ancient village, prevailed 13 millennia, flooded forever. Families once gathered, laughed, gossiped at hot springs become Lake Sonoma, a reservoir for water sports, motorboats, jet skis, a marina, and a culture museum to house dead things that remain.